17-year-old Mia Santos was working the graveyard shift at FreshMart grocery store when a woman in a hoodie and face mask approached her checkout lane at 11:47 p.m. with the strangest collection of items she had ever seen in her 8 months as a cashier. The shopping list seemed like a puzzle designed to confuse anyone trying to understand what kind of life situation would require 13 birthday candles, a pregnancy test, cat food, baby formula, wedding dress detergent, and a document holder labeled divorce papers, all purchased together at midnight. Before we dive into this mysterious late-night shopping trip that would change Mia's life forever, I need to ask you something. If stories about teenage workers going above and beyond for customers and the incredible rewards that can come from simple acts of kindness matter to you, please hit that subscribe button right now. These stories take weeks to investigate and verify, and your subscription helps us continue sharing the moments that remind us all that treating every customer with respect and discretion can lead to opportunities beyond our wildest dreams. Now, back to Mia's puzzling encounter. Mia Santos had been working the overnight shift at FreshMart for 8 months, ever since her family had moved to Nashville, and she needed a job that wouldn't interfere with her senior year of high school. The graveyard shift paid an extra $2 per hour, which made a significant difference for someone trying to save money for college while helping her single mother pay rent on their small apartment. Working from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. meant dealing with a unique clientele, shift workers grabbing dinner before heading to factories, insomniacs buying ice cream and magazines, and the occasional celebrity or musician trying to shop anonymously when the store was nearly empty. Mia had developed a reputation among her coworkers for being professional, discreet, and never making customers feel judged about their purchases, no matter how unusual they might be. On this particular Tuesday night, the store had been mostly empty since 11 p.m. Mia had been restocking candy displays and organizing her checkout area when she noticed a woman in an oversized gray hoodie, dark sunglasses, and a black face mask approaching with a shopping cart that contained the most eclectic collection of items she had ever seen. The customer moved quickly but deliberately, keeping her head down and avoiding eye contact with the security cameras. She wore expensive-looking sneakers and carried what appeared to be a designer purse, but her entire demeanor suggested someone who desperately wanted to remain unrecognized. "Good evening," Mia said cheerfully as the woman began placing items on the conveyor belt. "Did you find everything you needed tonight?" The woman nodded silently and continued unloading her cart. As the items lined up, Mia tried not to react to the strange combination: 13 individual birthday candles, not a package, but 13 separate candles in different colors. A pregnancy test, 3 cans of premium cat food, baby formula, wedding dress cleaning solution, a manila folder specifically labeled important documents, and a package of thank you cards. Mia began scanning the items with her usual efficiency, maintaining her professional demeanor despite her curiosity about what kind of situation would require this particular collection of products. As a cashier, she had learned that everyone had their own story, and it wasn't her job to understand or judge, just to provide good service. "That'll be $47.83, Mia said after scanning the last item. The woman reached into her purse and pulled out a credit card, handing it to Mia without making eye contact. Mia inserted the card into the reader and waited for approval. "Declined," the machine displayed. "I'm sorry," Mia said gently. "Your card was declined. Do you have another form of payment?" The woman's shoulders sagged slightly, and she fumbled through her purse, pulling out another credit card. This one also declined. "I'm so sorry," the woman said, her voice muffled by the mask but carrying obvious embarrassment. I must have mixed up which accounts had funds available." Mia watched the woman's growing distress and made a split-second decision that would change both their lives. She looked around to make sure no managers were watching, then quietly said, "Don't worry about it. I've got this." She pulled out her own debit card and ran it through the system before the woman could protest. "You don't have to do that," the woman said, clearly shocked. "I can come back tomorrow when I sort out my banking." "It's okay," Mia replied, bagging the items carefully. Everyone has those days when cards don't work right. Just pay it forward someday." The woman stared at Mia for a long moment, and even through the mask and sunglasses, Mia could sense that she was deeply moved by the gesture. "How much was it?" the woman asked, reaching back into her purse. "Don't worry about it right now," Mia said. "If you really want to pay me back, you can come by another time. I work overnight shifts Tuesday through Friday." "What's your name?" the woman asked softly. "Mia Santos," she replied, continuing to bag the unusual collection of items. "I'm usually here if you need anything else." The woman took the bags and stood there for another moment, as if trying to decide whether to say something more. "Mia," she finally said, "you have no idea what this means to me. Thank you." After the woman left, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that there had been something familiar about her voice, but she was too busy with the rest of her shift to think about it much. She finished her work at 6 a.m. and headed home to get a few hours of sleep before school. 3 days later, Mia's manager called her into the office with a confused expression. "Mia, I need to ask you something strange," he said, holding a manila envelope. "Did you pay for a customer's groceries earlier this week?" Mia's stomach dropped. She thought she was in trouble for violating company policy. "Yes, sir," she admitted. Her card was declined, and she seemed really upset. "I just wanted to help." "Well," her manager said, shaking his head in disbelief, "someone wants to thank you for it." He handed her the envelope. "This came by courier this morning, addressed specifically to Mia Santos, night shift cashier." Inside the envelope was a handwritten note and a check that made Mia's hands tremble. The note read, "Dear Mia, you probably don't know this, but the items I was buying that night were props for a music video I was filming about life's different stages and transitions. I was having a terrible day after my management company froze my accounts during a contract dispute, and your kindness reminded me that there are still genuine people in the world who help others without expecting anything in return. The check should cover your college tuition and then some. Thank you for seeing me as just another customer who needed help. -TS." The check was for $75,000. But the letter was signed with just initials, and Mia still couldn't figure out who TS was until she got to work that night, and her coworker Jasmine practically screamed when she saw the note. "MIA, do you realize who this is from?" Jasmine grabbed the letter. "TS? Taylor Swift. You helped Taylor Swift buy props for a music video." Mia stared at the letter in shock. "That was Taylor Swift? The woman with all the weird stuff?" "Think about it," Jasmine said excitedly. 13 birthday candles. She's obsessed with the number 13. Wedding dress cleaner and divorce papers, probably for a music video about relationships. Baby formula and pregnancy test. Songs about growing up and life changes. It all makes sense now. Over the next week, the story began to piece itself together through entertainment news outlets. Taylor Swift's team had confirmed that she had been filming a music video for Love Story, Taylor's version, that incorporated symbolic props representing different life stages. The video, which would eventually win several awards, featured metaphorical scenes showing the progression from teenage dreams to adult realities. But Taylor wasn't finished showing her appreciation for Mia's kindness. 2 weeks after the check arrived, Mia received a phone call at work from someone identifying themselves as Taylor Swift's assistant. "Taylor would like to invite you to the set tomorrow," the assistant explained. "She's filming additional scenes for the music video and wondered if you'd be interested in appearing in it." The next afternoon, Mia found herself on a professional video set where Taylor Swift, now without her disguise, greeted her with a huge hug. "Mia! I'm so glad you could come," Taylor said. "I wanted to meet you properly and say thank you again for that night. What you did meant more to me than you'll ever know." "I still can't believe I didn't recognize you," Mia said, still starstruck. "And I can't believe you sent me money for college." "I've been in situations where my cards didn't work, usually because of business complications, and it's humiliating," Taylor explained. "But you didn't make me feel embarrassed or ashamed. You just helped. That's rare." Taylor explained that the music video was exploring themes of life transitions and unexpected kindness, and she wanted Mia to appear in a scene representing how strangers could become part of each other's stories in meaningful ways. Plus, Taylor added with a grin, I thought you might want to see what I actually did with all those weird props you sold me. The music video, when it was released, featured a scene with Mia as a cashier helping various customers, with Taylor's voiceover explaining how small acts of kindness could change someone's entire day or life trajectory. The scene became one of the most talked about parts of the video, particularly when Taylor revealed the true story behind it in interviews. 6 months later, Mia was starting her freshman year at Vanderbilt University, her tuition paid in full, studying business and journalism. But she continued working part-time at FreshMart on weekends, partly because she loved the job, and partly because she had learned that you never knew who might walk through those doors needing help. That night taught me something important, Mia would say when interviewed about her experience. It taught me that kindness doesn't cost anything, but it can mean everything to someone who's having a bad day. I didn't help that customer because I thought she was famous. I helped her because she was a person who needed help. The story became a powerful reminder about the impact of treating every customer with dignity and respect, regardless of their situation or how strange their purchases might seem. FreshMart even created a customer service training program based on Mia's approach, emphasizing discretion and compassion. Taylor and Mia maintained a friendship, with Taylor occasionally stopping by the store to say hello, and Mia sometimes attending Taylor's Nashville concerts. But both of them preferred to remember that night not as a celebrity encounter, but as a moment when one person chose to help another without expecting anything in return. The best part, Taylor said in a later interview, wasn't that Mia helped me, it was that she helped a stranger. She had no idea who I was, but she saw someone who was embarrassed and struggling, and she just stepped in. That's the kind of person the world needs more of. The manila folder that had been part of Taylor's prop collection was eventually donated to a Nashville charity auction, where it sold for $10,000, with proceeds going to a scholarship fund for students like Mia who worked overnight jobs to pay for college. And every time someone at FreshMart encountered a customer with an unusual shopping list, they remembered Mia's story and chose curiosity and compassion over judgment, understanding that everyone's list tells a story, even if it's not always the story you expect. Sometimes the most important lessons about human decency come from the moments when we choose kindness without knowing the full story. Mia Santos's decision to pay for a stranger's groceries proved that authentic compassion isn't about recognition or reward. It's about seeing someone in need and choosing to help, regardless of who they are or why they need assistance. Taylor Swift's response to Mia's kindness demonstrated that genuine gestures of humanity are noticed and remembered by people from all walks of life, and that treating everyone with dignity and respect can create connections that transcend circumstances. The most beautiful thing about their encounter wasn't the financial reward, but the reminder that every customer, every stranger, every person we interact with has their own story, and sometimes our simple acts of kindness become part of their story in ways we never could have imagined.